Welcome to the very first episode of the J&J podcast on iTunes. My name is John Madigan, and I am here today with Joseph Vasallo.
Hey peeps, I'm Joseph Vasallo.
So Joe and I have been best friends for how long, man? How long has it been?
I think it's coming to 8 years. I think it'll be 8 years in September.
8 years. That's too long.
But yeah, longer than I ever thought and way longer than I was hoping for there.
There you go. So we are just two best friends living in the same state, but about 8 hours away from each other.
But we met in the same state.
Yes, we met in our junior high school, and we've been best friends ever since. And so this podcast is definitely just going to be about us, kind of reminiscing about old times, giving you the news, and sharing our stories. We're going to talk about video games and entertainment and movies and superheroes, and it could get controversial at times. It's probably going to get very controversial at times. But Joe, what do you want to say? Talk to the people.
Well, I have a question to the listeners, and I have a question to you, John. And obviously you're going to answer it right now, and listeners, I want you to answer it in your heads. If you were gonna attack somebody, right, what would you use? Right, help me out here, John.
If I was gonna attack somebody, I mean, other than a knife.
Yeah, a knife, club, whatever.
Knife club. Well, we have an interesting story for you guys today where we're going to answer that question. But first, let me just let's get the introductions out of the way. So my name is John Madigan. I am 20 years old and I live in New York City. Born in Brooklyn, live in Staten Island, and I work in Manhattan. I do a lot of things with MTV. My face has been shown in 120 different countries, and and I work a lot with music, with DJing and entertainment, and hopefully you'll just keep seeing me on TV and in the radio. Joe, now to you.
My name's Joe Vasallo. I come from Staten Island, New York. I'm at a Bible college, and I'm hoping to become a pastor. I like preaching the gospel, Xbox, just a regular guy.
So as you can see, two completely different people right there, but we are 110% best friends. And that's just kind of what makes us, honestly. It's just a very unique friendship, and that's one of the coolest things.
Yeah, I'm not even sure half the time we like each other. I just feel like a lot of the time we're friends because of the last 7.5 years.
Well, we're kind of stuck with each other. That's the honest truth. But I couldn't ask for a better best. Well, I could, but I'm not going to. I'm happy. I'm content with you.
Amen, bro. I wouldn't trade you for the world.
So, Joe, what kind of topics are things that you're going to want to discuss throughout the entire? What kind of categories would you say we're gonna discuss?
I mean, I'm good with just about anything. Whether it's controversial, political, religious. Stupid, we're going to get to that question about attacking people and see what this one guy did in New York City. So yeah, I'm good for anything as long as there's no cursing and dirty language. Back to you, John.
Yeah, that makes you sound cool. But so we're going to talk a lot about video games, and just one of our big topics are going to be about things in the news that you would think would be on The Onion, which is if you don't know what The Onion is, you must be living underneath a rock. But The Onion is a website where they release satire articles that they look real, but they are clearly fake. But let's get to our first headline for today. Joe, would you like to read the headline, or would you like me to do it?
I can do it, John.
Okay, you have the article?
Yeah. Man attacks with a Snickers bar. No, ladies and gentlemen, I am not joking with you. Apparently in New York City, someone stabbed another human being with a Snickers bar.
This is coming in straight from NBC New York. Police say a New York City man shoved a candy bar in the face of another man and then repeatedly punched him in an apparent random attack.
I sure hope I'm allergic to nuts.
This was just this past Tuesday night, and honestly, I can't believe it. He actually suffered pain, a cut lip and a bruised nose.
Of course, have you ever gotten your lip cut on opening a candy bar? It hurts.
You know what was always a pain? It used to cut me sometimes. Was those Capri Suns that you had to get the straw in?
Yeah,
and sometimes it just wouldn't go.
Yes, absolutely. That was the worst. The worst.
But Joe, you've rode the subways before. A man comes up to you and starts hitting you with a candy bar. Do you take the treat? Yes or no?
Oh man, that's tough. My doctor just told me to go on a diet, so I'm gonna have to say no.
Joe, it's okay. You're gonna get diabetes anyway. But so let's say he just starts throwing Snickers at you. Do you then eat the candy? Let's say you're hungry. You haven't eaten for a day. Do you then eat the candy?
It depends. Is the candy open or not?
The candy's closed.
The candy's closed?
Candy's closed.
Is it melted?
Is it melted? No, it's not melted. It's
yeah,
just like
go for it. Why not? Candy.
Why not? Now you see a guy. What do you think this guy is wearing? Like, can you picture him wearing like a Snickers? Why Snickers?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe it was just the first candy bar that he had, right? Maybe he thought he bought a Milky Way and he was so upset about it.
Joe, a man that stabbed somebody with a Snickers bar, do you think he actually bought it?
That's a good question, John. I don't know. To be fair, you got to be a little whacked out to hit somebody with a candy bar anyway.
A little, but it's definitely it's definitely a unique thing. That probably doesn't happen every day. I'd say maybe about every other day.
Well, Lord knows, but if we did, we wouldn't be allowed to bring chocolate bars to school anymore.
Oh God, right now you can't even bring in the ones with the peanuts.
Really?
You can't. Oh, in a lot of schools. Oh yeah, definitely. In a lot of schools, you can't bring in candy bars that have peanuts in it due to other kids getting allergic to it.
That's depressing.
I know. Think some poor kid can't bring in Reese's peanut butter cups to school.
What happens if I'm allergic to math? Then what do they do? I mean,
if you're allergic to math?
Yeah, math.
Math. Oh,
or
okay.
History, right? Like, can I get out of school on the basis of being allergic to it?
I mean, if you can get like a doctor's note, which it's not that wouldn't be too hard. Just slide somebody a $30 and it's not too hard.
It's fair.
But it's so those are the type of stories we're gonna be we're gonna be talking about.
And I just wanna throw out a shout out to the victim. We're not making fun of you. We're praying for you. Love you, man. It's just, that story is great. That's just that one.
Yeah,
tell your kids I got stabbed with the Snickers bar.
Here's one more for you. This is coming out of Southern California. This is a true article. You can look this up on NBCLosAngeles.com. 911 operator missed emergency call. Somebody called into 911 because she was ordering a pizza.
Yeah.
That's an actual thing that just happened. 911 operator in Broward County is accused of missing a call involving a man who fainted while she ordered her lunch. She was actually ordering for a lot of people in there, and she missed her call. And this poor guy turns out he had a seizure. He fell out of his chair, and she was on the phone call with the pizza place.
Well then,
she's heard placing.
Tell me that instead of calling 911 to help this person, she ordered a pizza.
Well, I think she was on the phone with the pizza guy, and then a 911 call came in, and then she just stayed on the phone with the pizza guy.
Oh, okay, so she was like a dispatcher.
Correct. She was a dispatcher out of Southern California.
Well, John, I mean, I'm surprised about this, but I'm not surprised that it happened. I'm just surprised it didn't happen on Staten Island because we like our pizza,
Right. I was just about to say that. I'm like, why California? The pizza there is not that good.
Yeah,
I mean, if it was like... Shout out to all New York pizza except for Domino's and Pizza Hut and Papa John's.
Well, they're not New York. They're chains.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I definitely think that's interesting. Why? But yeah, so why? I don't know why. I don't know why. The food order finally ended more than 8 minutes later.
Wow.
The man who fainted eventually recovered and is all right.
Well, and I guess no harm, no foul. I mean, it all turned out for the best. Everyone got their pizza. The guy didn't die.
I don't know why she wouldn't do this on her break. I mean, aren't you supposed to order your food, get food like on your break?
I don't know, John. Is she Italian?
I don't know. I don't have her name here. I guess they're not releasing her name because obviously the backlash she would get would be really bad. But yeah, so those are two articles. We'll probably do about two articles every time we do that segment, and that's kind of the stuff you'll be able to hear from us. So the John and Joe podcast. We're hoping to keep it about an hour long podcast, with the exception of the introduction, of course. And Joe, what would you like to add?
Not to add too much, I just want to thank you for listening. If you're hearing this, thank you. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I want to say, obviously you can, you'll be listening to us on iTunes, and if there's something you liked or you didn't like, there's an email set up. You can send an email over to podcast@jmadigan.com and send in anything you like or don't like. You want to send us articles, or you just want to say hi to one of us. We'll be checking this daily. And if something you like, dislike, please just send us an email. And we're going to be reading those every day and be changing the podcast based on your public opinions.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's I am John.
And I am Joe.
And thank you so much for listening to our very first episode. We will be back here next week on iTunes, and you'll be able to listen to us where we will do a full hour of talking about random topics throughout the world.
And this is the J&J Show.
The J&J Show. Thank you very much.